Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro, twice a day, and today, I need you to trust me. I'm a doctor, an actual math doctor. The goal for today, get all the way to Ante 39 without any legendary jokers, specifically without Perkeo. And we're not going to get all the way there today, but we're going to get maybe a decent bit of the way there. In order to get all the way to Ante 39, we do need to score ludicrous numbers of points in order to keep up with the increasing scoring requirements. So the plan right now, we are playing 4 of a kind. 4 of a kind, we can get ×2 molt from the idol on all of our kings of spades. And if we want, we can re-trigger that with sock and buskin. Long term, we want to switch to a mime-based held in hand plan. We want to use the Baron. Baron gives you ×1.5 molt on all of the kings that you have held in hand. Generally speaking, you can score more with the Baron and the mime combination because you can break the hand size limit in the game when you fight the serpent boss specifically. The serpent you can reroll. We have the boss reroll voucher. You can reroll all the bosses so that you always get the serpent. And then against the serpent, when you play or discard 1 card at a time, you redraw 3 cards. So if you have something like the burglar, you get extra hands, you get extra draws, and then you can have extra kings in hand, extra kings that can score high enough to break sort of the scoring limits of the game, but not high enough to pass Ante 39, because when you get to Ante 39, the scoring requirements also break. The whole game breaks down. You can't go past Ante 39. So that is the end point that we're going for. To help us, we have 3 copies of Brainstorm right now. One of these was a negative Brainstorm that we picked up from the first shop. So to set this up, we knew we were going to require some pretty intense, extensive technology. So we did some restarting, re-rolling until we got the negative Brainstorm. That's where we started. And then from there, we've been able to pick up 1 ectoplasm to give us an extra negative Brainstorm. Maybe we could be looking for another ectoplasm in the future for 1 more negative, but ectoplasm costs increasing amounts of negative hand size. So we can afford -1, we can probably afford -2, but we probably don't go -3 because we do need the hand size in order to score with the Baron and the mime. So maybe we won't do 3 ectoplasms, but maybe 1 more ectoplasm. We also picked up a mail-in rebate. Mail-in rebate as a negative here. This is going to generate a lot of money for us. One way you can generate money is you can use the mime copy with blueprints and brainstorms with your gold cards. But having mail-in rebate is of course very convenient, honestly. This picks a random card in your deck every round, so as long as we maintain the kings in the deck, we can get $20 per king discarded. You discard 5 kings at a time. That's $100 per discard. So we have Andrew. Andrew gives us +3 discards. So 3 extra discards, that's potentially an extra $300 every round, in addition to whatever value that we get from the purple seals. Maybe one slight hang up here is if we have, let's say, 5 or 6 discards, 5 cards at a time, that's 36 cards. We don't actually have that many cards in the deck. We actually only have 26 cards in the deck, so we could be interested in adding more cards to the deck. The idol picks a random card in your deck every round, so we want to, let's see here, we have 1 more jack, we have some kings that are not spades, we have an ace here. We want to make everything king of spades and get that locked in. For the rest of the vouchers here, we have grabber, extra hand size, crystal ball, extra consumable slot is good with the purple seals. We can discard 3 purple seals at a time. We can get 3 tarot cards at a time for all of our discards from Andrew. We also have 1 extra hand size. Tarot Merchant is something that we picked up earlier so that we could build the deck much faster, re-rolling for tarot cards in the shop. We just finished Ante 8, about to start Endless Mode here. The deck is already pretty clean. All kings of spades for our idol. Maybe this makes it a little bit more difficult to find jokers in the future, but you can again offset that with Overstock. Overstock gives us more options every time we hit the reroll button. So voucher wise, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for overstock so that we can find our jokers more easily. We're looking for blueprints and brainstorms, which are of course rare jokers. Baron is a rare joker. Maybe one more hand size in the future. Maybe the time travel vouchers as well. Maybe extra discards also give us extra money once we obtain extra cards. Maybe we're looking for the magic trick voucher to add extra cards to the deck by shopping for extra cards. Either way, what we want to do is we have a lot of vouchers that we're interested in. Antimatter gives us an extra joker slot, so we're looking for a voucher tag. With that in mind, as we are shopping, we are looking for as many colas as we can so that we can get these double tags. But basically that's it. Short term, we're going to use the idol for scoring, and then we are looking for a Baron for the long term. Let's go next. Alright, I've got Fool on the Devil. We can take an Omen Globe here. Omen Globe allows us to get Spectral Cards in our Arcana packs, so we could be looking for Cryptid would just generally be very useful, adding more cards to the deck, but also we can try to get that Ectoplasm. What else? Yeah, I don't know if anything else is super important to us. Maybe I'll remember later. Okay, we can take a Buffoon pack here. Okay, Buffoon pack, I've got Shoot the Moon, Halvesies. We got a bunch of commons here which are not relevant to what we're doing. But what we can do, we can get rid of the Mime, and then when we take Shoot the Moon here, we can sell it for $2. We can do a little re-rolling. Let's go standard pack first. I do, in the long term, want to add cards to the deck and then use death cards to convert the extra cards into kings. Turning cards into stone also removes them from consideration for the rebate and the idol. I think here maybe we don't take the 9 of spades. Purple seal here. I think we don't take any of these cards unless they're already kings. I think we want to get the deck locked in first, and then once you have death cards upstairs that you already know you're going to use, then you can add cards to your deck. So we'll skip here, but it's worth checking. It's worth peeking inside there. We can do a little re-rolling. If we are going to be re-rolling, I like to hold on to the tarot cards so that they don't show up in the shop. It's marginal. Probably it doesn't impact that much, but also it doesn't cost us that much, so why not? We are looking for colas. We are looking for maybe a blueprint. We could pick up the bus. Okay, bus gives us +5 value on all of our temperances. Obviously, it's not going to give us any score if we play a bunch of face cards for the idol. Priestess. I could use the priestess. Do I want to use this strength card? Strength to turn a jack into a king. I would need 2 strength cards. Let's go ahead. Priestess here is fine. But another one. And see, this is why you hold on to the tarot cards. If we're holding on to a priestess, this would be a different tarot card. Okay. Go next. We could take a troubadour. Troubadour gives us extra hand size. Extra hand size is good for the mail-in rebate. And generally, what we want to do is discard the purple seals for tarot cards and at the same time keep the other cards in hand. You want to keep them in hand so that when you do get the tarot cards, you can use them right away. So let's go ahead and pick up the troubadour. All right, sun we don't want, but we could hold on to it. Don't need madness. We can take an emperor here. Hermit. I could copy the hermit with the fool, but I think it's worth saving the fool for a death card. We have a decent amount of money here. We could take a golden ticket as a source of money. we could pick up 6 cents. So 6 cents could be another way of getting ectoplasm, or it could be a way of getting cryptids. When you are doing the Perkeo Ante 39 plan, usually what you do on the plasma deck is you use 6 cents to give you cryptids, and then Perkeo can copy cryptids. So we can still get cryptids even if we're not using Perkeo. We can get rid of Sock and Buskin, pick up 6 cents here. I can hold on to a Magician. I could take the Bean instead of the Troubadour. That gives us even more hand size. It is temporary, but we have enough money to where I will eventually reroll for a replacement on the Bean. It's fine. Wheel of Fortune, I think I'm not going to do right now. What I don't want to happen is I don't want the wheel to land on the Brainstorm. If it lands on the Brainstorm, then the Brainstorm won't be allowed to become negative. Okay, we could take Hierophant here. No. Justice, no. Hungman. So that's an option. That's not plan A, but that's an option. So I could use the Hungman to remove the Ace and the Jack. Then we run into the problem of the deck not having enough cards for Andrew and for the mailing rebate. That's something that we can fix later. Maybe what we want to do sort of in the short term is just make sure we're safe with the idol, and then we can add cards later if we have too few cards, which we will have too few cards. We could take the Plutonium here. We want to level up the high card for our Baron plan in the future, Baron and Mine plan in the future. There is some consideration for not taking the Pluto card here, because if you don't take it, then you can use the Fool to copy a Hermit. But now because we use the Planet card, now the Fool won't be able to copy the Hermit or whatever other tarot card we might have used. So there is sometimes, even though I want the Pluto cards for the high card, sometimes I don't take them. We can take a tower here. We can go one more. Magician and Devil. I think I'm going to take the Devil. I think I want to make the gold cards. Currently we have steel cards, which we don't really need. Long term we want to have all gold kings, because the Baron will give us points regardless of what flavor kings that we have, and then the Mine will give us money on the gold king, so I want to make all gold kings. Someone asked me recently, how do we know when to stop rerolling? How do we know how deep to go? One way, I guess it depends on what your goals are. And so if you're playing in an anti-8 run, you're just doing a non-endless run. Usually what I do is, I don't know, just figure out how much money you're making each round and then spend that much money each round. Plus or minus $10 for the booster packs or something like that. Or sort of, if you just re-roll down to $25 every time, that's not necessarily a bad way to go. Maybe some consideration if you get Hermit or if you get Temperance, if you have one round where you get $80, maybe you don't get $80 every round, maybe you don't spend an $80 on $10 rerolls. Maybe what you do is you take that $80 and you split it between 2 shops or split it between 3 shops. It really depends on how well you're scoring, whether or not you need the help, whether or not you are rerolling for anything specific. In this particular run, we do want to save some money for the end game. When we get to Ante 32, things are going to get a little bit weird, and so we maybe want to save up some money for that. So instead of spending 100% of the money that we're making each round, I want to try to spend about half of the money that we're spending each round. So maybe we stop here and go next. Okay, we're looking for a voucher skip tag. Boss says decreased level, that's fine. We can, all right, let's go next. So because we have the Bean, I can use the Devil on one of these steel cards. I could use the Hungman on this king. I could save the Hungman. Something that I could do instead of discarding, I could play the stone cards, and then that way we can redraw, maybe. Let's play 2 stones. Okay, I have room for 1 tarot card, so let's discard as many kings as we can and get 1 tarot card here. We have 6 discards, so we can spread things out here. Oh yeah, we've got Brainstorm's Copying Rebate. It does kind of take a little bit of time to do the animations, so let's do this. The Saturn mod, part of the Saturn mod package, is we can increase the game speed here. It gets quite tedious otherwise. So I can go ace and jack here, we can hang them. And then I could use the fool right away and we can hang the kings here, or we can try to discard and look for a world card. I think I want to try to go for the world card if we can. So discard 2 more kings here. That's much nicer. So Sun and Justice are out. I have these kings that I don't need. Discard some more. I want to make sure I get as much rebate money as I can. We don't have that many cards in the deck, so we get to touch all of them every round. We have Death, and we can copy with a Fool. Okay. So we need to preserve the red seal, but the King of Clubs and the King of Diamonds, I can turn them into these purple seals. Purple seal gold cards. Okay. To win here, we want to play the 4 of a kind with the idol. So as long as we have 4 kings left, we can discard 3 purples. We've got a hermit. I have a devil. I can make another gold card. I want to discard this purple and 2 more. Okay, another gold card, another hermit, sell the Hierophant. Okay, so now we can discard the 4 of a kind. It doesn't need to be Kings of Spades, so we can discard these 2 purples and then hope for a world card. We get a tower. So something we could do is we could use the tower on the red seal here, and then it would be, you know, in case the idol accidentally lands on the King of Diamonds instead of the King of Spades. I think it'll be fine. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and copy the idol. Ship it. I also want to point out here, with just the 3 Kings of Spades and just the idol, no sock and buskin, we already have 14 billion points. So this is enough for us to survive, I don't know, until at least ante 12. This is another question that I get a lot, is what's sort of the easiest way to get the 100 million points achievement? 100 million points, I think that's the one that unlocks the stuntman, or in general, how do you get high scores? And basically the way that you do it is with repeated multiplication, right? If multiplication is repeated addition, 7 plus 7 plus 7, that's 7 3 times, then repeat or exponentiation is the same as repeated multiplication. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, that's 2 to the 5th or 4th or whatever I said. So the sort of the easiest way to do it is with glass cards. You play a hand of 5 glass cards times 2 times 2 times 2. That's times 32 is more than you can get from most jokers, X-Mult jokers. And then you have a pretty good chance of finding red seals in a run, and so you can make red seal glass cards. Now it's all of your times 2s again, so now it's 2 to the 10th power. It's 1,000 times. And another way of doing the same thing, if you want to look at jokers, so common jokers, let's say Photograph and the Chad, those are the hanging Chad allows you to re-trigger the glass cards. The photograph allows you to get ×2 on your face cards, and so those things combined, okay, now we're talking about, that's a lot of ×2s. That's a very high exponent on your 2. Or, of course, that's what the idol does. ×2 on all of your kings of spades, copied with the brainstorms. So the point here is, we can score plenty of points with just the idol. We don't need Sock and Buskin yet. We can use the red seals as a replacement for Sock and Buskin in the short term. Sock and Buskin, that's the one that re-triggers all of your face cards. We don't need the Baron yet. And we can use, in the short term, use all of our Joker slots for value, for money. And then when we need whatever it is that we need, we'll pick it up later. Okay, idol still on King of Spades. We can go standard pack here. We could pick up a 6 for the 6 cents. We've demonstrated that we get to touch all of our cards every round, so we can find the 6 pretty easily. Then the last tarot card that I used was Hermit. So I'm not going to take the Priestess here. Well, I'm not going to use the Priestess, but I could hold on to the Priestess. We don't need Ancient Joker. Don't need glass cards. We could take the business card as another value generator, but I like having the bean so that we can hold the right cards in hand and hold them for the right time. I want to be able to hold my stone cards in my hand while I'm discarding for death cards. I would probably be willing to use a devil card. I am probably willing to use an emperor. So before we use the emperor, let's use the priestess. We can take the plutonium. We can take the Mars card for our 4 of a kind. If we wanted more points, we could play the flush 5. 5 cards instead of 4 cards. That's more points from the idol. If we want, when we get there. We can keep rolling here. Priestess, we said we don't want to do, but we can hold on to it, I guess. There's the world card. That's huge. Okay, so this Arcana pack has maybe, I don't know, a 1 in 4 chance of giving us the red seal. We can use the world. Looking for death cards. Don't need the dice. Don't need the photograph. But as I was saying, that's another way of scoring higher amounts of points. That's another achievement, by the way, getting to ante 12. Magician. Oh yeah. And general tip, if you want to set up your own Baron and Mime build. Baron is a rare Joker. Sometimes you don't get the Baron early, so you have to find a way to survive until then. The idol is an uncommon. That can be a way of surviving until then. Using the glass cards can be a way to survive until you get the idol. Before you get the idol, you make glass cards and red seals, and maybe that helps you float along. With 4 of a kind is usually what I do. Flush 5 also works. We can pick up a Fool here to copy an Emperor. I'm not going to copy an Emperor because there are better things that we can save the Fool for. So if I'm not going to copy an Emperor, I might as well use a Mars card. Get rid of the Priestess. I guess we could use it. Okay. So I've got a Fool, I've got a World. I would like to find a Death card. We don't need an extra discard. $28 rerolls. Let's go Arcana pack. So no on the Hungman. Oh, I forgot the bean gives us +4 hand size. So this is actually half of our deck in our hand right now. We can use the world to make spades. We don't need any more Hungmen in our lives. We just need death. I can use the devil here to make a gold card. And skip. Let's go next. Rebate on kings. Okay, I want to discard these kings that give me money. I want to discard the 2 purples. Let's discard, how about the gold cards? In case we get a devil, we can use the devil. Discard. Okay, so we got our hermit, and I could use the Fool to copy a Hermit, I guess there is some consideration. These stone cards don't give us money. Once I turn this into a king, we get $20 from the rebate. We get $20 every round. So is it better to copy a Hermit or wait for a death card? And then that way you get to copy a Hermit generator, basically. I'm going to use the Magician on the 6. Nah, we'll sell it. Alright, use the Hermit. We can play the 6. We can wait on the 6 because if we get some Spectral card from the 6 cents that we actually want, then we won't be able to discard as many kings. So maybe let's not do that yet. There's 9 cards on the deck. We got 5 discards, so let's do 2 purples and an extra. There's another Hermit. Okay, 2 purples and an extra. Tower we don't need. Moon we don't need. 2 purples. Wait, let's discard the gold ones. 2 purples and an extra. Hungman. Nope. Okay, so we want discard these 3, and that leaves me with 4 for the idol. Tower, Empress. I will discard this purple stone card. Okay. Play the 6. 6 cents before you ask me is not compatible with brainstorms. Ship it. Immolate. Bummer. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to copy the idol and then ship the 4 of a kind. So that's with 1 red seal. If we look at the blinds here, let's see here. We got E15, so that's enough to beat Ante 14. So all the way through to Ante 14, we win with just 1 idol in these 3 brainstorms. We don't need Sock and Buskin. And that's with only 1 red seal. We can, of course, make more red seals as soon as we get more death cards. So let's not be too hasty. All right, standard pack. We could pick up a 6. There's no 6s here. Could pick up a queen and strengthen it into a king. I think I have the stone cards in the deck are enough already, so let's just skip here. I'm not going to use the Fool to copy a Hermit. I'm going to save the Fool to copy a Death, I think. So maybe we go Celestial Pack here. Take the Plutonium for the future. Maybe I was supposed to hold on to the Empress and the Chariot. Oh yeah, we already checked the boss. We have the boss reroll anyway. Okay, Saturn. We can get Mercury. We could pass on the Hungman. I guess another consideration, we want to save some of our money for when we get overstock, because rerolling right now is kind of inefficient. Mostly I'm looking for Cola. We could go Emperor, Cola, and Death cards, rerolling for tarot cards more than Jokers. Still have 3 rounds on the bean. Don't need the Juggler yet. We can take the Plutonium here. Probably what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to reroll for tarot cards first before you open the standard pack, because if I have the tarot cards, then I know what cards I'm allowed to take from the standard pack. If you open the standard pack and you take some card, you might not find the right tarot cards. Like if there was a king in the standard pack, I would want to find a world card, but we might not find a world card. Alright, let's stop re-rolling. So strength, Hungman, go next. Okay, we discard 2 purples and some extras. Strength is out, Hierophant is out. Discard 2 purples, and that's it. We've got Temperance, we can sell the Hungman, we can discard 2 more purples. That's it. Okay, World we don't need. Maybe I should have used World on the Stone cards. I think this one was a 10 or a Jack or something like that, and I could actually strength it up and turn it into a King, but I'm not even going to worry about that. We can achieve the same result with just a single death card. Though I guess death cards are kind of premium, and we have a lot of things that we want to do with the death card. We can discard 2 more purples. I'm going to keep the gold one because if I do get a death card, that's the card that I want to copy, maybe. Sun Wheel. Okay. Discard this stone card. It's our last discard, so let's discard maybe... I want to make sure I have 4. Discard. We do get the death card, so we could copy the purple seals. Maybe it makes sense to copy the red seals. Maybe we already have enough purple. We sometimes get the 3 cards per discard, sometimes we only get 2 cards. Let's make, at least until we have the 4 red seals in the deck, maybe. And then, bummer, we're out of discards. So I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. Keeping the red seals for the money. Probably could have got away with 3 of a kind there. Could have got more money from 3 of a kind. Alright, so we got a Hermit here. Let's go Celestial Pack first. We can take the Plutonium, then the Hermit. There's no Voucher Tags. We can take the reroll surplus. We can take a standard pack. I can take a 5 and then reroll for strength for our 6th sense. We can make that work. I really want the Magic Trick. Magic Trick is the voucher that adds the cards to the shop. Then I can just pick up 6s. Oh well. Priestess we can hold on to. Hermit we can use. I probably should use Priestess first and then Hermit. Since I have an Emperor, it doesn't matter. Take the Plutonium, use the Emperor. Okay. 2 more rounds on the Bean. Don't need the Hungman. We need a Strength card. There's another Priestess. Mars. Sure. Hierophant, Sun. Nope. Earth. Nope. Star. To-do list is on straights. We don't need the bull. 1200 chips here we don't need. We can keep rolling. We can take the devil to make more gold cards. We get a world card. Is not what we wanted. We can use the priestess and then the emperor. We could take a showman. Showman could possibly give us access to another brainstorm. I think I'm gonna wait on the showman. I want to have a joker slot free for colas, so I'm gonna wait on the showman. Fool and strength. All right, so here Fool can copy Hermit. That's fine. We can hold on to our strength. We could reroll 1 more. And $20 we can go next. Boss says face down after play. That's not a problem. Go next. Okay, maybe I should have held on to the Hermit card, maybe. That way I can go Devil here, and then I would use the Hermit after in case we got a Fool. Anyway, we are trying to turn all of the steel cards into gold cards. We could get rid of the Hierophant. We save our strength. We don't need this red seal. We can discard for money, rebate money. Maybe we start with the Naked Kings first. Well, not completely naked. Okay, I can make another gold king. I can get rid of Justice. I can discard 2 purples and some more kings. Star and Magician we don't need. We can discard 2 purples, 4. There's 6 cards left in my deck. Yep. Alright, use the Hermit. I can discard 2 purple and an extra. And we have 4 cards left in the deck. Alright, so use the strength, use the Hermit. Discard 2 purples. And we still have another discard after this. Oh, I could have discarded 3. We will discard 3 now. Wait, we're out of purple. Alright, so discard these 2. Judgment and Justice, okay. Strength we don't need, so we play the 6 for the 6 cents. Okay, Grim we don't need. Grim we could use. Grim gives us 2 cards if we can find 2 deaths. We copy the idol here and ship it. Grim is not completely useless. We are in general trying to add cards to our deck to the best of our ability. So before we go standard pack, we can let's see here. We can do a little re-rolling. Looking for Death and a Fool. Okay, Temperance. We don't need the Hung Man, but we can hold on to him. I can swap the Bean for a Juggler. I can try to get another Bean. We pass on the Plutonium because we just used Fool for Temperance. Or if I do get a Fool, maybe I don't use the Fool right away anyway. Maybe if I get a Fool, I'm saving it for a Death card anyway, so maybe it's okay to use the Plutonium. Magician we can pass. World, we could take a World if there's a King in here, the standard pack. No King, but we could take a 4 and try to strengthen it into a 6. I think I'm not going to do that. I think as far as adding cards to the deck, I already have Grim can add cards to the deck. We can keep rolling here. There's a Death card. Okay, now we're looking for a Fool. Temperance for 39. We can take a Hermit. We get a Fool. Okay, so we go Arcana. Okay, there's a blue seal. So Grim first. Okay, we lost the red seal. That's okay. We can copy the red seal. We can copy the purple seals first. Generally, I like to copy the purple seals first. We know we already score plenty of points. So let's go Death and then Fool. And we can put a blue seal, make a blue gold card. I'm not really going to go out of my way to get the planet cards because discarding the King gives me 20 bucks. So is one Mars card worth 20 bucks? Probably not. Let's reroll for more tarot cards. We get a temperance card, that counts as a tarot card. We can hold onto judgment. We could take Faceless Joker instead of the juggler. That would give us more money. It would give us like 20 bucks. We could use judgment first, though now we are in the situation where the fool copies temperance, so I'm not going to use judgment. Just go one more. See? Trust me. We get the cola. That's two. That's two double tags. That's 3 vouchers now. Go one more. Alright, go next. Okay. So now I want a death card for this stone. Let's discard the blue seal. Let's discard... Actually, we can discard 3 purples at a time. Well, until we run out of cards. We can use the Emperor here. I can use the Devil, but we did just use a Temperance, so maybe we don't use the Devil. We can discard these 3 purples and 2 extras. Okay, so there's Temperance. I can use the Devil and Temperance. Get rid of Strength. I don't remember what the stone is. Okay, discard. We get Death. We can use the Priestess first because we know we have a death card that we can use. I can turn this into purple gold. Now the deck has only 5 steel cards, all kings of spades, mostly purple seals. This is why when you are trying to set up this kind of run, obviously the red seals are going to score you more points, but you don't necessarily need the points early. What you want is the deck building power. So I suggest if you are planning on this long endless run, maybe prioritize the purple seals. The purple seals are viral. They spread. They generate death cards. They copy themselves. We can discard these 3 purple. Strength, Death, Star, nope on all of those. We can discard 1 steel card, and then that's it. I should have held on to those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Copying the idol and ship it. Okay, we get a death card. Knowing that we have a death card, I will take anything from a standard pack. We could take a blue seal 6. Now that we've gotten rid of all of the stone cards, one thing that you could do with 6 cents is we can take a 6, turn it into stone, and then copy it. And then that way, with the rebate and with the idol, we don't have to worry about the 6s in the deck. Let's do that. Could take a buffoon pack here. Looking for more cola. We can sell the order. We can hold on to it because this will block the order from repeating in the shop. Maybe we can get a blueprint now. Go next. Or cola. Okay. 3 double tags. Maybe it's worth it to take the driver's license there and hold it just to fill up a spot. I'm looking for a tower so I can turn my 6 into stone. We can take a free roll here. I will sell it in case I find another one. Don't need the golden joker. There's Sock and Buskin, but we don't need it for the idol. We just want to have a slot empty for colas right now. The vouchers are very important. Alright, so we can get the tower. Tower and death. Now I'm looking for a fool so I can copy my death. Mercury. Gift card is great. Gift card would raise my temperance value. You know, if we get 5 or 6 temperance cards every round when we're re-rolling in the shop, and also from the purple seals, then an extra $10 on the temperance will give us another $50 per round or something like that. Also, we have not yet found the discount voucher. Discount voucher, it reduces all of the purchase prices of everything, all the booster pack prices, but also reduces the sell prices. All of the sell prices go down, and then they get rounded down, so you lose like $15 on your temperances or something like that. You lose $2 per joker on your temperances, and so maybe the gift card can insulate us, can protect us against that. We do get a decent amount of money from the rebate. Maybe temperance is not our main source of money, but it's nice to have an extra source of money. I really like the gift card early here. If I had to choose between a golden ticket and a gift card, I would choose the gift card, at least for the short term. Instead of, you know, here the Faceless Joker gives us money immediately. We don't need a Priestess. Don't need the business card for money. Wheel. All right, $28 go next. Don't need to reroll the boss. Don't need the strength card. We are saving the tower for the 6. So I just want to discard 5 cards. Don't need the world. It's okay if we block the tarot cards. It's fine. Okay, so I think what I want to do is death first and then stone, right? Well, if I go stones, if I do death second, then I can't copy the death card with a fool. Yeah, so let's go. That's fine. It's fine. Death first, stone second. Sell the magician. Okay. This stone card I can keep. If I get another death card, I would be willing to copy it. I can discard 3 purples. So if I wanted to, I could turn a king into a stone card, and then that could set up our 6th sense for the future. It is awkward that we are losing cards from our deck each round, because then we're getting less money on Mary Andrew. Well, we have less cards to discard for the rebate if we're removing cards from our deck, but it's fine. Okay, we can discard one of these stone cards. I still have 6 kings left. I can discard 2 purples, and I can keep the red seal, I guess. I don't need the moon. I don't need the magician. I have 2 more kings left in my deck. If I discard these 3, I draw 2. I get another death card. Yeah, so I think here it makes sense to make another purple seal with the death card and ship it with the 6. Incantation. This is huge. This is +4 cards, which we can use death on. Okay. Copying the idol. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 and ship it. Oh yeah, we got a blue seal. I guess that's a benefit of putting the blue seals on the stone cards, or having the blue seal 6s. Okay, we get the discount re-rolling. 2 Arcana packs here. I would like to find some death cards. The last card that we used was death, I believe. So I'm not going to use the Mars card. Magician we can hold on to. There's Temperance. So we go Mars first, then Temperance. We don't need the golden ticket. I would like to hold on to the gift card as long as I can, though maybe I can't hold on to it forever. I'm going to try. Devil is okay. It's not a top priority. We pass on the plutonium because we just used temperance. If I found a fool, would I copy temperance or would I copy save it for death? Actually, I should use the plutonium there because I'm not going to use a fool on a temperance. I'm actually just going to save the fools for death. But something to consider. Like here, I could get 50 bucks, but we are choosing to hold for a death card so I can use incantation so that we don't run out of cards. This is perfect. Now we can go Arcana, Grim, Red Seal. Okay, let's start with incantation. We lost the 6. Bummer, dude. Let's get more purple. We could get more red seals. Yeah, maybe. So, death on the red seal. Another death. Could go Grim to add 2 more cards. I think I have enough cards to wrestle with right now. So we can skip. And maybe looking for 2 strength cards for the 4. I guess I have the red seal here that I can turn purple into red. Or if something didn't already have a seal. Let's skip. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying is because we have 2 Arcana packs, we can reroll for more tarot cards, but it's important to note the Arcana packs are mutually exclusive. So whatever cards are in your deck at the beginning of the shop, they are already pulled from your deck, they are already preloaded in the Arcana packs. So whatever was in the first one cannot show up in the second one. I'm not going to see the 4, I'm not going to see the 9. Okay, I have a Hermit. If I use it, then a fool doesn't copy death, and that's fine. I can take a justice card. So there's strength 1. If I get a fool, maybe I would consider using a fool to copy strength. Okay. Priestess. Don't need the extra discard yet. We could take the tower on the 9 or the 4. That's decent. Probably should have used the priestess first. We do get a fool. So fool we can hold on to. We can look for death. We can stop rerolling. We don't need sock and buskin yet. What was the boss? Boss says clubs are debuffed. That's okay. Arcana, we get a death card. So here we could use death on the kings to add purple seals, or we can just use temperance for the money. The benefit of using the death card is then I can use fool to copy the death card. And then maybe yeah. Okay. So turn the steel into purple. We miss out on 50 bucks here. But we do get a death card, so maybe it's worth 50 bucks. Let's go next. Okay. Reminder, rebate, and idle, they don't update until the end of the round. So as long as we get rid of the 4 and the 9, then we're good. Alright. So there's the 9. I want to try to make more 6s for the 6 cents. I want to use death on the 6s. Though maybe it makes sense to just go ahead and rip it here. Let's stone the 9. I think I'm not going to worry about strength on the 4. I'm going to keep the death card. I'm going to keep the stone card. We can discard 2 purples. There's an emperor. Okay, so chariot's out, use the emperor. I get a fool. Okay, fool means... Okay. Fool means I can death the stone to give me more purple. I can use the Fool for a death card. I can use the Temperance. I can discard. Still looking for the 6. Magician and a wheel we can get rid of. Discard, looking for that 6. Alright, 2 purples. 9 cards left in the deck. I think I'm going to discard a little bit more aggressively. Alright, so we have the 6. Now we are looking for a way to flip the stone card. Maybe? That's not it. So 1 more king in the deck. That means we can throw away 2 kings. So Priestess and the Hung Man. Discard 2. Judgment doesn't work. Bummer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Copy the idol and ship it. So what we needed there was Empress or Justice or Magician. Any kind of enhancement we could flip the stone cards. Alright, the last tarot card we used was Death, so let's not use the Mars cards right away. We do get a Spectral pack here. We can reroll for tarot cards first. Sun, Judgment. Oh, maybe I should be holding on to these. Maybe I should hold on to a Hierophant specifically. Chariot. I already have the Hierophant, so we're good there. We don't need the tower anymore. We got that covered. We can use an Emperor. So if I'm going to use an Emperor, we go use both Mars cards, then the Emperor. We can take a Chariot, Moon. Celestial pack is probably safe now. There's another Mars card. Hung Man. Fool. Okay, so we want to hold the Fool card. Sun. Nope. Invisible Joker. Okay, we drop the gift card. We use Invisible to give us another Brainstorm. No. Because... So let's say Invisible copies Brainstorm, right? Then let's say you find a Cola. If you get the Cola, what do you get rid of? You don't get rid of the Idol. You don't get rid of the Sixth Sense. You don't get rid of Andrew. So we don't take Invisible Joker here. We can get blueprints in the future. Let's keep the gift card for the Temperance value. Because it may be at 50 right now, or it may be at like 55 or something like that. But we will get the discount vouchers eventually in the future, especially if we have the 3 double tags, hoping for a voucher tag. We can keep rolling here, I guess. Alright, that's it. Celestial pack, I can take the Plutonium. Do we have a telescope? I forgot. We don't have a telescope. We can take the Spectral pack here. Ankh, we don't want to use. We can... Sigil? No. Alright, we don't care about this. We are holding the Fool. And we are... What are we holding the Fool for? Okay, so maybe you could use Death to get an extra purple seal or an extra red seal. Or actually Death to copy the 6s. That's what we want to do. Death to copy 6s. Let's go next. Alright, so I'm holding the Hierophant for the stone card, but I'm also low-key trying to get a death card, so it's fine. There's like 5 different enhancement tarot cards. Actually, there's 8 of them, right? 7 other than the stone card. So that's a third of the tarot cards. It's fine. We can discard 2 purples. See, we got an Empress. It's fine. We can go Empress, follow up with an Emperor. We don't need the wheel. We don't need the tower. I'm just going to go ahead and slam the 6 now. Am I just being lazy? Fine. Let's discard. We have 28 total cards in the deck. Discard 3. Okay, so I've got Death. So this, without the seal, let's make another one of these 6s. Use the Fool. And then I'm okay with turning a purple king into another 6. Right, that seems okay. Use the Emperor. Okay, Judgment and Hierophant we don't need. We can discard 3 purples. Hungman, Lover's Son. I already forgot what the boss is. Oh yeah, the boss debuffs my clubs. Okay, so 9 kings left in deck. We could discard 3. Hierophant, Star, Hungman. 4 cards in the deck. So if I discard these 3, and then I have another discard left over, I can use the Devil. We only have a few more steel cards left. Nice. So if I discard 3 purples, we don't have enough kings. Well, probably we have enough kings, but once again here I'm just being lazy about counting. So I'm just going to play the... here I'm not sure if the 3 of a kind wins. I'm just going to play the 4 of a kind. And I'm going to hold the Death card, probably. So get rid of the wheel. Play the 6. Copy the idol. Grim? Okay. So once again here we can add 2 cards and then we can use Death. We are up to 27 cards in the deck. We started the video with 26 and now we're up to 27, so it is slow and steady. We can use a Mars card is okay because we have the Death card on hand. We have 2 standard packs. I could take a tower. So my plan is use Grim, use 2 Death cards. So standard packs, I would only take a 6 or a king. So I'm not going to take these if I already have Grim. Or maybe instead of using Grim, I add these. Maybe that's better. So we can take an ace here. We can go standard pack. There's a 6 and another ace. Okay, so I have the tower and the Death card for the aces. I could look for a Fool. Don't need the World. We could take Plutonium, that's fine. Extra discard we don't need yet. Temperance gives us 50. Hermit. It makes it a little bit awkward to figure out exactly how much money you're making every round if you get sort of an indeterminate number of temperances. Some rounds you get more temperance than other rounds. So, I don't know. I just go by vibes, how much we want to reroll. Showman here, we're going to pass on the Showman. Because once again, we're looking for Cola. Once we get the voucher skip, then we can start filling up our Joker slots with more serious Jokers. Okay, Moon, nope. Erosion, nope. Empress, no. Mime we don't need right now. The Mime doesn't really do anything unless you have the Baron. You could make steel cards and then the Mime works with just steel cards, but if they're steel cards, they're not gold cards and they don't give you money. So usually what you want to do is you want to find the Baron first and then get the Mime after, if you can. Sometimes you can't afford to play it that risky, I guess, if you're kind of desperate for points. Anyway, the idol makes this very safe. So we can get rid of the world and go next. Boss wants to debuff my clubs. So I have an opportunity here to use death on a 6, or I can save the death cards for the aces. Let's save the death cards for the aces. Here, I guess I'm just going to discard 5. It's a little bit inefficient. We're not getting as many tarot cards, but the main use of our tarot cards, yeah, we want to get money with temperances and hermits. That's nice if we can do that, but that's not the main way that we want to be using our consumable slots. The main way that we're using our consumable slots is for these death cards. So here I decide, do I want more 6s or do I want more kings? I think I want more kings. I think how many 6s you want, maybe you want to have 3 to 4 6s, and you don't need any more than that at any one time. So we can go ahead and use death here, save the tower for the other ace. We can discard 2 kings and 2 stones. We can use the tower on the ace. We can use the emperor. Okay, strength and lovers we don't need. Okay, so now I am discarding for a death card so I can replace the stone. We can discard 3 purples at a time. Lovers. I did just use an emperor, I believe. We did. So I can use the devil on the steel card. Now we just have the 1 steel card left. We can discard 3 purples. Get rid of the priestess. If I discard 5, that's fine. Okay, moon, chariot, temperance. Okay, there's 2 kings in the deck, so we can discard 2 kings. That's it. Okay. Copy the idol. Ship it with the 6. Talisman? Sure. Gold seal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ship it. We get an extra hand. We get a Spectral pack. We get a Mega Buffoon pack. Mega Buffoon pack. I have a Cartomancer. Cartomancer is bad, right? It's funny. I prefer Hallucination over the Cartomancer most of the time, especially in this type of run, because Hallucination gives you the tarot cards when you open the booster packs. And if I have blueprints and brainstorms and stuff like that, I can open 1 booster pack, get 3 tarot cards, sell them all or use them, open another booster pack, get 3 more, whereas Cartomancer only gives us 1 set of 3. Also, Cartomancer gives it to you when you leave the shop, and sometimes we leave the shop holding on to tarot cards. We've done that holding on to death cards. Anyway, we skip here. I think balance-wise, I think Cartomancer would feel better if it was 2 tarot cards every time. But it's too late for that. We pass. There's no voucher tags, but we get $64 for a handy tag. Some consideration for taking a double tag here. Skip for a double tag. If we are eventually going to get a voucher tag, maybe we take the double tag here. But it's pretty useful having the extra shops, and then also every round is another opportunity to do 6 cents. We could take the certificate as a way of adding cards to our deck. What's nice about the certificate is it adds the cards directly to your starting hand. So if you're holding on to a death card, you can use it right away. I think we have enough gift card value now. We will get more rare jokers and more negatives in the future, so maybe we're done with the gift card. Hierophant, nope. There's the hallucination, but I think I want the certificate. We can also copy the certificate with the brainstorms if we're feeling saucy. We can go Mars, then Temperance, holding Death. Okay, looking for a Fool. Right? Strength? No. Plutonium? Maybe. We said the Fool can copy Death, so it's okay if we use Plutonium. Okay. There's Temperance again for 50. Every couple of rerolls we get a Temperance. That's nice. Don't need the Hung Man. Could take Strength here. Star. Priestess? No. I want to hold Empress and Lovers for my 6s. There's a Hierophant. I would like a Tower card. Alright, let's stop re-rolling. Let's go Spectral Pack. Saving the money for Ante 32. We could get Cryptid. Cryptid's great. Cryptid, we can make more kings. Sure. More kings or more 6s. I think I'm going to go for more kings. So we get more rebate money. I would like to get up to, I don't know, 40 cards. And ship it. Alright. Let's go next. Boss says base chips and tab. That's not a problem. Okay. I got a red 2 in hand. Let's make a red king. I messed up. Here, the blue seal, we're supposed to use Empress first. Now I'm going to get a Fool, and then I'm going to be embarrassed. Discard purple. It's okay, we got an Emperor. Are we done with steel cards? There's one more steel card in the deck. Emperor gives me a Fool. Okay, that's fine. We can hold the Fool. We can discard 2 purples. Let's see here. If I go 4 cards 5 times, that's 20 cards in the deck. Justice and Empress we don't need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ship it. Magician and Tower we don't need. 1, 2, 3. Actually just 2. Actually, if we discard 3, 11 cards in the deck, I'm going to discard 5. Maybe. I just want to make sure I get all my money. Okay. I can discard 3. I get Death. Okay. How do I want to use my Death cards? I want to... There's a Stone card in the deck. I want to draw the Stone card. I otherwise actually don't need Death. Okay. So we discard 2. We discard 3. We draw 2. We use 1 Death card. Okay. So this stone becomes a king. Copy the idol. Play the 6. We got Cryptid. Alright, so the plan with the Cryptid card, normally the way that you get to Ante 39 with Perkeo, we said this before, if you have the kings held in hand and the Let's see here. The Baron gives you times 1.5 on all of your kings held in hand, and the Mime allows you to retrigger those. Where's the Mime? The Mime's maybe one page back here or something like that. Yeah, retrigger all the held in hand abilities. When you use Cryptid, it adds the cards to your hand, and then it expands your hand size. So if Perkeo is the legendary that copies your consumable cards. So Perkeo gives you, dozens of cryptids. You use the cryptids. Now all of a sudden you have 40 kings in hand, and all of those are going to score points with the Baron. We can't do that without Perkeo. We can't copy the cryptid cards, but we can still hold on to the cryptid card. So when we are in the end game, we use the boss reroll voucher to get the Serpent, and the Serpent allows us to get extra hand size too. We trade one card, either play a card or discard a card to draw 3, and then that inflates our hand size. We can do that on every ante except for ante 8, ante 16, ante 24, ante 32. Those are the multiples of 8. Those are the finisher bosses, the finisher blinds. So ante 32 is the last one. That's the final boss for us. In ante 32, we can't reroll the Serpent. How do we beat ante 32? Well, one way we can do it, we can inflate our hand size with a cryptid, +2 hand size. You can also use DNA to expand your hand size in ante 32. That's the plan. This cryptid is eternal. We have to hold it for the next 20 antes. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, copying the idol. Let's go ahead and ship it. Okay, we can use the Fool to copy death, or no, I'm using Fool to copy death. And use the Mars card, and let's go shopping. Okay, Celestial Packs, looking for Plutonium. Take the Plutonium. Okay, I don't have a way to add cards to my deck. I have Certificate as a way of adding cards to the deck. Okay, so Certificate gives us a card, Death. We can use it on the Certificate card right away. We can do a little re-rolling. Okay. Judgment. Nope. Hallucination. Nope. I'm just looking for the Fool. Also looking for Cola. Looking for Cola. Give me the Cola. Could take the extra hand size. So we could keep doing this. We could keep doing 6 cents as a way of getting ectoplasm. I think I'm not going to do that. I think 6 cents is a big drain on our resources. Being able to get cards for mail-in rebate and Andrew, and that's a lot of money. We do have the Omen Globe voucher. It allows us to get Spectral Cards and Arcana packs. We only want one more ectoplasm. We don't necessarily want a third ectoplasm, so instead of using 6 cents to get ectoplasm, let's just use the Omen Globe to get ectoplasm. Let's pick up the extra hand size here. Bummer. What about, we could take an extra discard here. We can't support the extra discard. We could pick up the Showman now. Okay, so Showman should allow us to get another Brainstorm. That's it. That's all that we're looking for is another Brainstorm. We can take Temperance. We could use the Fool to copy Temperance, or we can use the Fool to use Death on the Stone cards, and then we get 20 bucks from the rebate immediately. Could take Golden Ticket as another money generator. Could take Golden Ticket instead of Andrew. That way you discard some of your kings, you play some of your kings. One thing that's awkward with the Golden Ticket is the idol scores too many points. So I'm going to stick with Andrew for now. Sock and Buskin. See, it always comes back around. If you need it, it'll come back around. Let's go next. So I think I'm not going to take a double tag. I think I have enough double tags. I think it's not worth losing a round. Do we want to use certificate and get 4 cards or just 1 card? 1 card is fine. Okay, 7. I have probably enough enough purple kings. Let's make more red kings. Use death here. And Fool for another death card. And now that we are holding on to this cryptid forever, now we have less consumable slots, so we're going to get less purple seal action. More of our money is going to come from the rebate, and we get less value from the purple seals, but that's fine. We have less needs from the purple seals. So all of our needs are satisfied. We could use the Emperor. We should check the tarot cards. Yeah, okay. Emperor, we get another death card. Because we have the Showman, we get another death card. Yum. Discard 5. We have enough purple where we can kind of just discard 5. Bang. Hungman, Moon, discard 2 Magicians, 5 cards left in the deck, so discard 2, 3. I get a Fool for a death card. I threw away the only king that didn't have a seal. Bummer. It's not super important, but it is a little bit of a bummer. I could use Fool to copy death if I wanted to make more red seal kings. I don't think I need to. I think now the Fool becomes temperance instead. When we can get temperance, we can discard 5 kings and draw 2 kings, and that's plenty of kings. Alright, we're getting to the point where we can maximize our rebate value. We got $2,000. Let's go ahead and ship it. Okay. Sorry. We can take a hermit. I should have used the Fool to copy death. That's okay, we can reroll for a death card. I have a standard pack here. Let's go Buffoon first. Scholar we don't need. Sorry, if I ever pause, it's because I'm coughing and then I gotta mute the mic. We can take a juggler for extra hand size. We can check for a voucher tag. No voucher tag. Sorry, each ante takes so long, I forget how long it's been. Maybe Marble Joker is better than the certificate for adding cards because it adds stone cards, which we can use death on. Yeah, that's pretty chill. We should do that. Then we can copy the Marble Joker with the Brainstorms. Could take a Hermit. We can hold the Hermit since we have a Showman. There's another Showman. So we still want to use Fool on death, right? Is that true? Right? Use the Hermit, hold on to the Temperance. This, by the way, when you have the Showman, a thing that you can do is you can hold on to a Temperance, and then that way when you find a Fool, you can use the Temperance and then use the Fool right away. That way you don't have any of this awkwardness where I'm not sure if I can take an Emperor, I'm not sure if I can take a Priestess. You actually just hold on to the Temperance the whole time. because the showman allows you to find temperance even though you're holding temperance. We don't need the tower. Actually, I could look inside the standard pack. Don't need this queen. Okay. Plutonium, sure. Mercury. No, we want death. We could take a brainstorm. So okay, sure, fine, yeah. Get rid of the showman, take the brainstorm. We're still looking for cola. So if I find cola, I sell Marble Joker. We don't need the showman to get brainstorms if we already have brainstorms. There's a mime that we don't need. I should be using this temperance now that we don't have the showman anymore. There's the death card I can copy with the fool. Another thing that I like to do sometimes is once I have the tarot cards, I just stop re-rolling. We could take DNA instead of Marble Joker. That's probably much cleaner, much less work. Maybe now I can use Fool to copy Temperance. Maybe now I don't need Death anymore at all. Alright. Go next. So I do have one more king that doesn't have a seal. It's this one. And I can turn it into a red king with a death card. I can follow it up with Temperance. I can play the solo king. That's probably enough kings. 37 kings is probably enough. We can switch the rebate money. So discard 2 purples at a time, and then all the red ones. Okay. Hermit, Chariot, 2 purples, discard the red ones. I'm gonna keep the gold seal because I'm trying to overwrite it. I can discard these 2 purples and all of these red ones. 2 purples and a red one. I guess it's okay if we throw away extra purples. Okay, discard all of these purples. 9 cards left in the deck, plenty of purple left. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 kings in the deck, which means if we discard 5, we get to draw plenty of kings. We get the devil card a little bit too late. That's okay. The last card that we used was Hermit. So we don't use these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Copying the idol. Ship it. Alright, so E17 with the 4 brainstorms on the idol. That allows us to, if we look, I can beat ante 15. Not quite ante 16. If we play 5 cards instead of 4 cards, the flush 5, because of the extra multiplication, will score higher than the 4 of a kind. Don't use the Mars card. Okay, we can. DNA. Okay, clearance sale. So, clearance sale, usually we don't take it right away because of the temperance value, but I think we got enough gift card action where I can take clearance sale now. Okay, clearance sale. Now temperance is still 50 bucks. C gift card, all right. Okay, but then what? We can go standard pack here. We don't need standard packs because we got the DNA. I mean, we can still look. Nice. Mega Arcana packs. Mostly I'm looking for money now. I'm still looking for cola when we reroll. There's no voucher tag yet. Boss says face down cards. We probably don't care about. Okay. Maybe I don't need DNA right now. I can take an extra discard. Extra discard is an extra $100 every round. Let's go one more. Let's go one more round with the DNA. There's another showman we don't need. Maybe we could get another copy of Andrew, and then that could be extra cards for extra money, extra discards. Maybe we'll go DNA until we have 80 cards in the deck, because when you do have the burglar you can copy with the brainstorms, you can get extra hands, and then you get, you know, maybe 15 or 20 hands, and then the golden ticket with the burglar, you can play all of your kings for thousands of dollars, even more so than you get with the rebate. The difference there is extra discards you get from Andrew, plus 3 discards, but burglar you can copy. Burglar you can get extra hands. So the golden ticket is going to be better than the rebate long term, assuming that we have enough kings, and maybe the DNA is what enables us to get enough kings. I guess we could take the plutonium. We can pass on the devil card. Nah. It's bugging me. Is it bugging you too? We can take a hermit. I should have used the plutonium first. Now, is there a fool? Nope. Alright, the last one, we can use the devil. We can use the plutonium. Don't need familiar, don't need the purple seal. Let's just skip. And go next. All right, DNA to copy the, I want to have a split of red and purple. Actually, in the end game, we want just red because the purples don't re-trigger. Maybe I don't want to add too many gold kings to the deck, because in the end game, when we get to Ante 32, we do want to have steel cards. I want to be able to make steel cards. Even though we don't need steel cards right now. Alright, discard. Fool gives me plutonium. Bummer. I think it's probably worth it to use the Fool right now rather than hold on to it. If the only thing that we're going for is Temperance, that's it, then we should use the Fool, because if you hold the Fool, you only get one tarot card at a time, and then when you do get the Temperance, you copy it with the Fool. If you use the Fool, then you're getting twice as many tarot cards. Twice as many tarot cards on average can give you the Temperance twice as fast, so it works out the same. Better to just use the Fool. Bummer. Don't need death. Discard. Now the only tarot card that we care about is Temperance, so we can kind of just sell everything else. Okay, I can breathe again. Let's go Priestess, Chariot, and I don't mean that metaphorically. Let's go ahead and discard the red seal. Sell the wheel, sell the justice. Okay. Now we have the 4 of a kind. We could play this 4 of a kind and keep the red seal. Copy the idol and ship it. If we get enough extra cards in our deck, we can take a golden ticket instead of this DNA. We don't need the standard packs. I just like looking. Hey, look, a 6. We can go standard pack here. We can do a little re-rolling. What am I looking for re-roll wise? I'm looking for money. Strength we can hold on to. Judgment we can hold on to. Looking for cola. Don't need the juggler. So how much money does golden ticket give us realistically? It gives us like 1 hand worth of money, which we can copy with the brainstorms. Also a good reason to have red seals. Red seals, you can re-trigger the golden ticket. Also, when we do switch to the burglar, you can't do the purple seals anymore. Or do I want to stick with the DNA? Or maybe it doesn't matter because we're going for cola anyway. Take the golden ticket. Don't need the photograph. We can take an emperor. For a hermit, we can take a tower. We can... Don't need a devil card. Judgment. I don't need your judgment. We could get the Baron. Are we ready for the Baron? E11. The idol is more efficient than the Baron because it's ×2 per king instead of the Baron is ×1.5 per king. Also, the 4 of a kind has a higher base than the high card. E11. I can take Baron now. Huh. Okay. I can take a hermit. Sure. I can take a temperance for 50. We can get an extra discard for extra money. We can stop. Go next. Okay, so let's do this. Let's not worry about the purple seals anymore. Let's just get the red seals in hand. Okay. Well, I still want to get my money, so I do want to maximize my discards. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discarded. Sell the world. I can use death to... If I use death, then the fool won't be able to copy temperance. Are we switching now to red seals? I think we are switching to red seals now, since we don't have that much room for purple anyway. So that's kind of the cadence. That's kind of the play pattern, is you start out on purple, you switch to red gold with the Baron, and then when you need more points in the end game, you switch to red steel. But for now, we're still on red gold. Well, switching to red, taking off of purple. I don't need the blue seal that bad. Okay. I want to experiment. What happens just Baron? Ship it. Okay, so if I can do E20 with just the Baron, I can drop the idol. Now, if we look here, we can go all the way up to ante 16, right? And that's without the mime. So that's fine. Go next. All right. Don't need the standard pack. It's only $3. Look at that, another king. What was the boss situation? The boss was face down cards. Okay, before we go Arcana, is there anything that I'm looking for? We could drop the idol now and pick up the showman, I guess. We don't need to. We can take a cola. Don't have room for the cola, so let's get rid of the idol. Okay. We can take a Mars card. If we are struggling, if we are concerned, we can always reroll for the serpent boss already right now, even before we get the mime. But I think we're good. The last tarot card we used was Death, so yeah, I guess Mars is fine. We don't need a Marble Joker. We probably don't need Hallucination. We can take an Emperor. We can take another Emperor. There's DNA again. So the benefit of taking DNA is it improves our ratio of red seals to purple seals. We don't really need that many more cards, though if we are trying to go for golden ticket plus burglar, then maybe we want more cards. Also, DNA, it adds cards to your starting hand, or it adds cards to whatever the hand that you play, so you do get more points that way. I think I'm not going to take DNA because if I do find a cola, I'm just going to sell it for a cola anyway. So maybe DNA is not so important. There's the burglar. Golden ticket plan? No, not yet. I guess I want to find the golden ticket first and then do the burglar after, probably. Don't need the polychrome swashbuckler. We can take more plutonium. I'm just looking for some kind of money. Parking gives us money a little bit. I'll take parking. Hermit. Okay, we could take the juggler for extra hand size. I'll just take the parking. So, Arcana. Okay. This is another way that you can get a lot of endgame money, is using the parking with the Serpent. Because Serpent fills up your hand size. Burglar plus parking, extra hands for the parking. Don't need the Hungman, don't need the Devil, we don't need any of this. We can skip. We could use a Priestess. We didn't get the Plutonium, and that's okay. $28 rerolls, we can go next. Okay. So basically what it comes down to is discard for purple. Fool on the Priestess. Bummer. Alright, these I don't know what they are, but I know for sure I have these other red seals. This is another one that takes a really long time to animate, is the preserved parking. As much as I love the sounds of money, don't need Mars cards anymore. We can discard. Okay, Emperor. Discard. Okay. Let's copy the parking. I'm hoping this doesn't win if possible. And then we can farm some parking money with the brainstorms. We can play the purple. We can play one more purple. Basically, we just want to have the red ones for the money. Okay. Ship it. Alright, copy the Baron. This is our best possible hand. Let's go ahead and ship it. E23. Without the mime. Without the serpent. Okay, E23, as long as we can beat Ante 16, then from 16 to 24, within that range, we can reroll for the Serpent. So we shouldn't need the Mime until Ante 24. All right, I think that's going to be it for this one. That's going to be it for part 2. We've got now a split of purple seals and red seals kings. We are trying to lean more towards into the red seals. If we get death cards in the shop, we should probably hold death cards so that we can turn purple into red. Now that we have the cryptid card we're saving until Ante 32 so that we can use the cryptid to get the extra hand size that we need in order to beat the Ante 32 boss. Now that we're holding on to cryptid, we get less value from the purple seals, but that's okay. We don't care about the purple seals as much because we got plenty of rebate money. We got parking money. Parking, this Joker slot, if we see cola, we sell it. And so this is kind of a floater Joker slot, temporary Joker slot, swapping in and out colas. This could be parking. This could be golden ticket. This could be even drunkard giving us an extra discard is an extra $100 because of the rebate. Actually, it's $125 for this floater slot. If we do get the mime also technically gives you more money because it can re-trigger the gold cards. You can copy the mime with the brainstorm. So if we do get offered a mime, I would take it temporarily. Level 28 high card is probably as much as you need. In order to double your score, you need to get another 28 levels. In order to triple your score, you need to get another 60 levels or something like that. So this is good enough level high card. Voucher wise, Omen Globe, we are hoping to get Ectoplasm. We already have the boss reroll. We have 4 double tags looking for that voucher skip in the future. All right, there will be a video tomorrow. There will be a part 3 video tomorrow, and then we'll do the finale live on Twitch this Saturday. It'll be 5 p.m. Central. Take care, everyone.